live?
Live.
Welcome everybody to another ADV Podcasts.
Welcome indeed.
I would like all of you to please pay attention to what's going on behind us. What's special about this episode is we're going to be playing, throughout the entire episode, we're going to be playing some B-roll and unseen footage that we took in Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not only just recently, but over the last year or two.
Yeah.
So hopefully you see something interesting there. Just to showcase how awesome the city really is.
Sure. At some points we will be flying in the sky. Don't get alarmed. We're safe. We're sitting down in chairs.
Yes, we are.
And we're happy to have you guys here. So thanks for coming on in to our live show today. We got a lot of things to cover.
Absolutely.
And I guess we should probably just hit the first segment. What do you think?
Yeah, let's head right into what's new. So, as you know, what's new, we talk about something that's just in the news, something that's relevant to what we're going on about.
Sure.
And we're going to be talking about an MMA fighter.
Okay.
So, DM, can you roll us the first clip, please? By the way, you'll notice we're really small in the corner. There's a reason for this.
Yes.
Don't worry, we haven't been shrunk by DM's shrink ray or anything like that. What's going on here is there are subtitles that have to pop up, so we don't obscure them. You may have heard about this guy. He's very famous in China, at least he was. Mm-hmm. He's an MMA fighter. He's the guy who brought MMA to China, and he's been challenging all these wushu masters, kung fu masters, and what's the result of that?
Tai Chi and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, basically, he's going to these competitions and absolutely obliterating everyone because, unfortunately, these traditional martial arts in China are not as successful or effective as normal trained fighters, right?
Let's be totally honest. They're an art, okay? They're beautiful. They're great exercise and stuff. But as far as self-defense is concerned, they're actually quite useless.
Well, to quote Xu Xiaodong, he actually said, it's a great exercise tool for the elderly.
Yes.
But you can't train people and expect them to go out in public and defend themselves with an art form, a traditional Chinese art form.
Correct.
And, I mean, he's got a point.
He does.
You know
he
what
does.
I mean?
He does. Here's the thing, though, guys. You often ask us to talk about the social credit system in China, right? Well, this is a very good example of the social credit system in action.
Do you actually remember, we said a few times, like, this is probably a year or two ago, people kept saying, you got to talk about the social credit system over and over again. And we were like, we thought it was a little unfair when we haven't seen it in action, right?
Yes.
We've heard about it on the news, Western and Chinese, but we haven't seen actual applications of this. But there's been a whirlwind of them recently.
Right.
And this is a good case, and this just happened.
Okay, so quickly break it down. Because he's been challenging these big wushu masters and stuff, the Wushu Federation of China, obviously with all their connections and all their guanxi and stuff, basically said that's enough. All right? And so they've accused him of basically, I don't know, denigrating the Chinese culture.
Sure.
They've accused him of being a spy, a foreign spy to kind of like take away from China's culture. They've done all sorts of terrible things. And he's actually been forced now to pay 400,000 RMB to one of the masters that he so-called insulted. And what does he have to do for 7 days?
He has to go on Chinese social media and public media and apologize profusely 7 days in a row. Yeah. But there is also another stipulation.
What's that?
And that's if he wants to fight, because he's obviously popular and people are making money off of his presence, right? So not completely like blocking him off, but if they want him to fight in public rings, then he has to wear clown makeup.
He has to wear clown makeup and appear under a pseudonym and stuff.
Yeah, he can't use his real name because he's not allowed to promote himself.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to play a clip of something he released. For those of you who are listening along and can't see the subtitles, we will give you an idea of what's going on. So can we play the clip there, DM?
对，我告诉大家，我徐晓东就是一个屌丝。我徐晓东就是一个傻不拉几的一个网民。如果你是有素质、有见识的人，你们想想，我去趟美国我就成特务了，我去趟台湾我就成特务了，我接受了台湾2家电视台的采访，我就是特务了。我也不知道为什么，英国 BBC 广播电视台采访我。我说我要汇报领导，我傻傻的，可是我没领导啊。我说我是 MMA 第一人，我说错了吗？我是第一个中国人，中国籍，我现在是中国籍，我是中国人，代表中国人来打比赛。现在所有很多中国人来骂我。
Okay, can you pause it there? For those of you listening along, basically, what he's doing is he's pouring his heart out because he's been accused of being a spy. You know, he's very patriotic, right? And I mean, maybe you can say something about it before I continue.
Well, yeah, so you had a good point when you said the crime is like denigrating the Chinese values, traditional Chinese values and stuff. But the collusion here, how this actually happened, you'd have to be foolish if you think there was actually some like top government official that was like, you know what, this is not fair. Because the person who was working for CCTV, which is now CGTV, they were found out to be the president of like the Wushu Association, right?
Right.
So that person who has connections to this whole kung fu scene, that's the person who felt offended and had the kind of connections, or guanxi as they say in China, to actually go out on the news and make him into this evil demon of a character, right?
Yeah.
And you know, the majority of people that follow this kind of stuff are big fans of him in China. So this completely destroyed him.
Yeah.
So when you have a situation where somebody's at a D tier social credit score, they can't go anywhere, they can't do anything, their life is done. If he has kids in the future, they can't enter public schools, right?
Yes, they're going to have restrictions. He's only allowed to take the slow train. He's not allowed to take a fast train.
Right.
Not allowed to fly in a plane.
Right.
You know.
So you're seeing a broken man that's completely been destroyed by the media, and now the forces have turned against him. This once hero that brought MMA and this fighting scene and really tried to champion this new way to work out and exercise and promote Chinese values and stuff, that's all been wiped away, and he's been pushed to the brink. And this is actually kind of dangerous because he's now going to speak from his heart.
Yeah, the problem, and what he's saying there is that he says he's Chinese. Is he not Chinese? But now all the Chinese people are attacking him.
Right.
And accusing him of being a spy. You know, I can sympathize with him because that's what happens to us quite often. You know, the difference is that if I was Chinese and I had so much hate and denigration towards myself, I would be very upset, just like he is. Anyway, let's continue because there's something else.
Okay.
我请问你陈小旺，太极拳陈小旺，你是哪国人？你还是中国人吗？我20年待的地方，说没就没了。我在我自己的微博上，我写我很光荣，我是什刹海的教练，也不让我打了，都他妈让我删了，因为中国武协说了，不能让我有名。我现在全世界有名，是我徐晓东打出来的。
Yeah, we're gonna have to pause it here again, and all right, what's happening for those of you listening? He was a trainer and an instructor at a special academy. What was it? Shanghai or something? Sorry, I didn't get the actual name. But anyway, he taught there for over 21 years, okay, as an instructor, and he's very proud of that, etc. But they have, because of this controversy, they've basically told him that they want to sever all ties. He has to remove any mention of them out of his social media, things like that. And of course, it's really deeply hurt him because he's the one who started MMA through that academy and did all this work and trained over 10,000 students and stuff during his time. So it's really hit him really hard.
Sure. Yeah, and he's derailed. You know, you see this. They're trying to wipe him. You can't search him or anything in China. No. They're trying to delete any sort of mention. But obviously there's forums in China where people still talk about it, and there's a lot of differing opinions. But this guy, I mean, without knowing the whole story, it's tough not to feel bad.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it's not this whole, like, China's turning against him. There was collusion. He's been framed in a way.
Right? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And now it's a national issue. You can't escape that, China, unfortunately.
No, you can't. And you see, this is the danger of the nationalism, how it's weaponized. It's weaponized against people, especially individuals that are, you know, rising to fame, causing some kind of change, people that have influence. All of a sudden, the people that supported them and got them there in the first place by saying, oh, he's Chinese, we love you because you're Chinese and you're doing something great, so let's bolster you up. But then it can be turned around in a second to be like, you're an enemy of China, you're against the Chinese people, and this is the result. You can see it clearly. I
have some words, but I think we should finish his clips, and then we'll go to the wide frame and we'll talk to you guys about it.
All right.
谁支持过我？
Okay, wait, let's just pause for a second because...
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You get your chuckles out, guys.
Yeah. If you see what's on the screen now, you've got the same guy. He's wearing like a gladiator's mask.
Right. I think it's from 300 or something.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing is, he's recently put this clip out because he's obviously just had it, right?
Right.
So let's play a little bit of the clip and then we'll tell you what's going on.
说为什么？因为我爱国。听懂了吗？因为徐晓东爱国，想加入澳大利亚国籍。原来我也傻逼似的看《建国大业》，看完之后才发现，合着主要演员除了郭德纲是中国人，其他的都是外国人。建国大业，真棒！建国大业，除了郭德纲，基本上吧70%全是外国人。不信你们自己看去，有一个是一个，从张铁林那儿开始，斯琴高娃什么开始，什么英国人。
Can you pause it there?
You can make us big again.
Yeah, you can go back to that. Basically,
that's good.
Yeah, we're big. What happened there is the founding of a republic is a very high budget, sort of a communist China biography. What would you say?
I would say it's a piece of propaganda, almost Hollywood level production values.
I remember when it came out.
Right.
All the small villages around where I used to live and stuff, they had actually set up. The government came in, set up big outdoor screens and played it free for everyone to watch it.
Right.
It became a very important film for China.
Right.
In fact, it was so important that the guys that used to sell the fake DVDs down the road from me, they were allowed to sell any Hollywood DVDs fake, but if they sold that one fake, they would get shut down and detained and taken away.
It's funny because people always claim that there was no way to crack down on those guys, but they found a way when it came to that movie.
Anyway, what this guy's saying is that all the actors, except for one in that patriotic film, actually,
actors,
they actually have other nationalities.
Sure.
So they're either New Zealand or
Right.
Canadian or
Right.
from Hong Kong or whatever. Not only one of the actors is actually Chinese.
Sure.
So yeah.
This is what I wanted to say earlier, is that this looks like on the surface, if you do something against China, China will F you up, right?
Yeah.
But actually, it's much deeper than that, because here you have a very nationalistic guy.
Yes.
A very, very pro-China guy. This is the kind of guy that you drink beer with and he's like, you know, 外国, 我们中国. You can get that impression from him, right? But even though he hadn't stepped out of line, even though he hadn't done anything, if you completely support the government, is completely nationalistic in China, everything can turn in an instant.
Yeah.
And this is not a warning or anything, but a lot of people that do this, they think that if they're in some sort of turmoil or worried about their visa getting renewed, or even Chinese people themselves, if they shield the government and really just put themselves out there and look very, very blatantly nationalistic, that can turn on you in an instant, right?
Yeah, because if you become too famous,
Right.
that's when things go wrong.
You become fodder for
Yeah.
people with money. It's no different, right? Like, China's not running on nationalism necessarily. It's still running on money and connections, right? So this guy's been bitten, and it's a dangerous game, and it sucks. It really sucks.
Anyway, the guy's name's Xu Xiaodong.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know how to spell that, it's an
Yeah, you can look him up.
XU.
Yeah.
Xiaodong, I believe.
Right.
Yeah. So you can look him up and read his sad tale.
I mean, maybe there's stuff we're missing, but it looks pretty sad.
Yeah. Anyway, and we hope him the best, because he's fallen afoul of the social credit system. And for those of you who keep asking us to explain the dystopian social credit system, not only do we have a video about that on ADV China, you can go watch, but you can read his story and actually see it in action.
Sure.
Yeah,
Very,
absolutely.
very good point. Hey, and before we move on,
Yeah.
I want to mention something. You know how he has to wear clown makeup?
Yeah.
I noticed that you're wearing a clown t-shirt.
I am wearing a clown t-shirt.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, now let's just hit the merch. Let's hit the merch. We got a new t-shirt. Why do we have the two of us punching a clown?
This is hard to explain.
Yeah, holding a 50 cent. Well,
Right.
we all know about the 50 cent army,
Sure.
right? And basically the Wuma. So the clown is the 50 center. But the reason we made this up, it's not just like pulled it out of thin air.
No.
We love reading the Chinese forums when they...
It's like our favorite hobby.
They discuss us, and they have all these stupid insults.
Right.
But they very often use like Chinese idioms.
Well, we
and
usually
stuff.
understand them.
Yeah, like bottom of the frog, you know, bottom of the well frog,
frogs,
and you know, like all that stuff.
White pigs, all that
But
stuff.
one thing that they used a couple of times, which we couldn't understand, because they always call us two cheats, right? The two cheats making China look bad. But they kept saying two cheats hit the clown. And we're like, what the hell does...
We asked everyone. We asked Chinese people, because like I like to think our Chinese is quite good, but it stumped us. We tried to translate each character.
Yeah.
I asked my wife, I asked my friends.
Yeah, I asked my wife, no one could
They
understand.
were like, what the hell does that mean? But they kept saying it.
Xiao Chou, what, like Lianga Pian's a Daga Xiao Chou, something like that. We're like, what the hell does that mean? So we thought, well, we're just going to make a T-shirt out.
Right. I mean, two cheats at the clown.
Yeah,
That's
so
us, dude.
we're the two cheats over here.
We're hitting
the 50-cent clown.
Right.
So if you guys feel the need to...
Well, they've been profiting off of us, leaving horrible threats and stuff. We get
Yeah.
paid 50 cents per comment. Why can't we recoup just a little bit of that and support
Yeah.
the channel?
join the two cheats hit the clown army.
You guys can go down below. I put in the top of the description is everpress.com/ADVChina.
Exactly. Anyway, let's...
There's only 21 days on that, by the way.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah. So
Very
it's
limited.
limited time only.
Yes.
And if you call now, you'll get absolutely nothing in
You'll
addition.
get a free bag that it comes in, made of plastic.
Plastic bag. Okay.
Oh, these shirts are not
Yeah.
made in China. Everyone kept asking.
Oh,
These are
okay.
made in England.
Oh, yeah. We get our shirts made in England. Not that matters.
I'm just letting people
Nothing
know.
wrong
They
with-
kept asking.
Nothing wrong
It's a nice
with made
thick
in
material.
China. I like some things made in China. My wife, for instance.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You trying to say I don't like my wife?
Yeah, she
Weirdo.
won't-
DM,
Yeah.
hit us with a super chat.
Will do. All right. What's up, guys? My young Waze.
Yeah.
Ocean Ghost. All right. So we have, I'm going to read two super chats because they both feed in pretty well to our next
Sure.
segment.
Okay.
So the first one is from Modst Jada. He says, according to Jackie Chan, there are no protests. Is he really a supporter of the government, or is even he not safe? Also, what do people in China and Hong Kong think about him?
Oh, my boy, Jackie.
And then I can read. Do you want to answer that? And
Yeah,
then
let's answer that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a tough one. When I was growing up, I used to love Jackie Chan. He's kind of a hero, to be honest.
Me too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think.
We love Jackie Chan.
I mean, I still like him. I'm not going to lie. I love his movies. I think he's hilarious. I have a lot of respect for his, stunts and his.
Sure.
No, seriously,
I got
it's
you,
funny
I got
as hell. I loved it, especially those kind of '90s ones like
Awesome.
Rumble in the Bronx and
Amazing.
First Contact or whatever
Right.
it is, and First Strike. Sorry, all those. Absolutely can't beat him. But unfortunately, he seems to have lost the plot sometime a while ago.
Well, he's fallen afoul of his own people in Hong Kong.
When I first got to China, he was like a mascot of Hong Kong.
Yeah.
You used to go to Hong Kong, they'd have like Jackie Chan stores.
Right.
He was in all the adverts.
Right. For
Teaching
medicine
people. He would teach them how to like change the indicator
Right.
while they're driving by doing
Right.
kung fu. It's like, be safe on the roads and
That's
and then
cool.
it was cool. He was a cool guy. He was awesome. But then he suddenly became a big mouthpiece for the Communist Party.
It happened very quickly.
He threw his own son under the bus.
Right, when he got busted for weed in Beijing.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't understand what happened. So Jackie Chan, unfortunately, is I don't know. I've lost a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, I mean, this is this comment, the super chat we got. He just publicly got interviewed, and they're like, "What do you think about the protests in Hong Kong?"
Yeah.
Which is our next topic. He's like, "I don't know what's happening there," and that's pretty low, man.
I mean,
Dude, you're
yeah.
from there.
Of course, he understands the ramifications. If
Sure.
if he has any kind of an opinion on that, it's only going to be bad for him.
Right, for sure.
At the same time, though, it's pretty low.
Right,
Because Hong Kong people are really sticking their neck out.
right.
He should at least have some kind of support. From
Solidarity for his.
Yeah.
Well, and you could also say that if anything, because he's like so high profile that he has more immunity than the average person.
Right.
Because if Jackie Chan got spirited away to black jail, it would be like international
Yeah,
scandal. So they can't even really afford to do that.
Right.
Very,
That's a good
very, very
point.
true.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the next question.
Yeah, so this is from Lucifer, $20, very generous. He said, do you think China might allow the PLA to do something horrible in Hong Kong? Everything happening now is setting a very dangerous precedent, and China has all the power to get away with it. I hope they don't.
Thank you, Lucifer. We've said this many, 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 many times. China plays the slow game, right? You're not going to see another Tiananmen. You're not going to see that in Hong Kong. Number one, it would be huge egg on the face.
Yeah.
People would be like, what's actually going on? All of this soft power, this billions of dollars they put into making a squeaky clean image of China out the window because you have foreign reporters there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Slow game, slow infiltration, putting their own peons there.
Yeah.
Converting the government to be pro CCP.
They can't. The thing is, what they did in Tiananmen Square in 1989, they could do back then because they had such an iron grip on the country.
Sure.
And the technology back then did not allow the news to escape easily.
No.
And that's why it's so difficult to find a lot,
Right.
footage, and you have to always listen to some old dude talking about
Yeah.
what happened,
In a chair,
It's
an
kind of
armchair.
like, it's unfortunate, but these days any kind of thing like that would cause such international outrage
Right.
that it would be just, I don't know, call for war or something, so they won't do it.
Right.
They won't.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So it's time for Soft Power Hour.
It sure is.
Okay, so Soft Power Hour, we basically talk about how China is influencing the rest of the world, or at least attempting. Sometimes very successfully, sometimes not so successfully.
Sure.
We do have a clip we're going to show you in a minute, but before we do, we'd like to show you some pictures. So can we show this article?
Sure.
You go ahead and start.
Why does this guy look so mean? Isn't he such a meanie? This is China's
just demeanor.
Anyway. It's China's foreign minister, Wang. So basically, he was at a press conference, right? And this is his quote.
Okay.
And this is another one of these foreign collusion things. This is regarding the Hong Kong protests currently in Hong Kong.
Yes.
Some Western forces are using this issue. They've made trouble in Hong Kong, stirred up opposition, and tried to sabotage Hong Kong's stability and damage the implementation of one country, two systems, he said. We want to say this loudly. Pull back the black hand you have shown. Is your hand black?
No.
Okay. Hong Kong is China's domestic affair. You shouldn't interfere in Hong Kong. Hong Kong isn't a place for you to run amok. The term black hand is often used by Chinese officials to describe alleged conspirators and foreign agents. What do you have to say about this?
Okay, it's very straightforward. We did a whole thing on ADVChina about this. When was it? Actually on Monday.
Sure.
So, you can go watch that. But it is this whole thing of blaming foreigners, meddling. And it's so insulting to actual Hong Kong people. Because, even what we say, it's not really up to us to say, because it's the Hong Kong people that are the ones that actually have their own voice, right? So when Hong Kong people go out and protest against this extradition bill, which honestly is the right thing to do, because if that extradition bill is passed, it means no one in Hong Kong is safe.
We'll get to that, yeah.
We're going to talk about that later. But the thing is, they don't want it, so they go out and protest. So then what does the Chinese government say? They say, no, the Hong Kong people aren't actually against us. They want the extradition bill. It's foreigners meddling that's causing this.
Right.
That
just discredits the people that actually went out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just super offensive for Hong Kong people, because the majority of people in Hong Kong don't want this bill.
Yeah, why do you think 2 million out of 7 million?
Statistically, the biggest protest in the world, if you talk about actual percentages, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's a massive part of the population that's really against this.
Yeah, so Hong Kong people, it must be infuriating for them to have their voice just taken away, because this just delegitimizes what they do.
Sure.
And the problem, and this is what we're building up to here, is this is what people in mainland China see.
Okay.
There's this thing going on at the moment that I've spoken to people from mainland China. I don't involve my wife in politics, by the way. I don't discuss anything. I'm sure you're the same, because it's just not... Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe you do. But I don't, because, it's not my place to involve her in anything like that. But all my my Chinese friends that I've been talking to and the messages I've been getting from Chinese people overseas, all are very similar. The mainland Chinese people, if they talk about Hong Kong, they talk about it as if it's just some funny little foreigners meddling, doing some kind of nonsense.
Sure.
Well,
that's a good point, actually. I wanted to say Vivi was a little bit shocked, because she's been following her Hong Kong... She went to school in Macau.
Yeah.
A lot of her friends are from Macau and Hong Kong. We have family there, right?
Yeah.
So the news she's been getting has been from there. Yeah. But then when she goes on WeChat and she sees her friends' moments in her friends' group chats from mainland China, she was like, what? That's a total opposite of what everyone else is saying.
Yeah.
They're posting all these Chinese flags saying, this is our Hong Kong, get out of here, Lao Wai, go back home, stop meddling in our affairs, all this kind of stuff. And she's like, very confused, because it's literally the polar opposite message.
Yeah, well, this is Soft Power Hour, and we're just showing you how the soft power works. How it works is by completely controlling the news, and the narrative within China. So most Chinese people, when they open up the newspaper, they look at their WeChat, they turn on the news, all they hear is how crappy foreigners are for meddling in Hong Kong, and that Hong Kong people actually don't want this.
There's actually words like brainwashing being used, saying that the Westerners are going to Hong Kong and brainwashing people and implanting people to change people's minds and paying them.
Which is actually what they're doing.
It's actually a good tactic to flip it on its head, right? But so a lot of people were asking me and you, they were like, what kind of news about this is coming out in China, about the protests in Hong Kong?
Yeah.
And I think we should give a super quick rundown of what, if you guys are new, what this whole extradition bill is. Maybe you can run like super layman's terms.
Super layman's terms is this. Everyone seems to be centering around this one case of this dude went to Taiwan, killed his pregnant girlfriend, ran back to Hong Kong, okay, and now he can't be extradited to Taiwan, which is it's awful. The guy's a piece of garbage.
Right.
You know, he'll be sorted out eventually somehow. But the thing is,
I hope.
all of a sudden, this is seen as a chance to push this extradition bill.
Right.
But the weird thing is well, it's not really weird because of the whole political system that's really convoluted. But people would be happy if there was an extradition bill with Taiwan.
Right, because there's rule of law, judicial
and
system.
this murder happened in Taiwan.
Right.
But what happened then is the Beijing government says, okay, this is great. Let's put this extradition bill in that makes it so that we can extradite criminals like this guy back to Taiwan or to mainland China, because actually Taiwan belongs to China, so we want them to come back to mainland China, then we can punish them.
Right.
And then then everybody's like, wait a second here. Because if this bill gets passed, that means anyone traveling through Hong Kong could suddenly just be picked up if they're an enemy of the Chinese government.
Even without going through immigration.
Yeah. Just like what happened with the CFO of Huawei when she went into Canada.
Right.
Because she, there was a warrant for her arrest from America for doing some alleged financial crimes, which is probably, who knows?
Who knows?
We'll see. Anyway, the thing is they arrested her. And this caused a big uproar in China. And I think that's probably what actually sparked this off, is they're like, hang on a second, that's a good idea.
Right.
That's what we need.
Right.
Let's do that to Hong Kong, because everyone travels through Hong Kong when they travel around Asia.
It's a honeypot.
And it's a major hub.
Right.
When you travel, you have a stopover flight in Hong Kong.
In Asia.
And let's just say you're a reporter that talks about the Communist Party and they don't like that. They're like, okay, well, when they land in Hong Kong, we can arrest them and we can bring them over and put them in a black jail. So that's kind of why everyone's really annoyed with this.
Just to put a Band-Aid over this whole thing, a lot of people are using this whole, you don't even understand the bill. It says only crimes that are punishable by 7 years you can be extradited into mainland China.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because there's no rule of law. So no matter what you say or do can be a crime of 7+ years.
Absolutely. Right? Remember, the Chinese Communist government, which they've done to friends of ours and people that we know,
that are currently in political jail,
just basically say, oh, you are subverting the harmony of China, so you're a criminal of the highest degree. We're going to basically accuse you of being someone that's even worse than a murderer, at least in Chinese law. So then, bam, they can nab you, So
protests, everyone goes out there like, absolutely not. We're not losing the last sliver of freedom we have in our country in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Lawyers go out, judges go out. Almost everyone is in support of getting rid of this extradition bill, right?
Yes.
But Carrie Lam, the leader of Hong Kong, She's in a tough spot.
She's in a very tough spot.
She's being pulled by Beijing, who will screw her over if she doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And then she'll get screwed over by Hong Kong people that are like, you can't do this to us. So she's ignoring it.
I mean, she's in a very unenviable position.
Right.
That's what happens when I try to use fancy words.
I get you.
Anyway, she's in a very unenviable position. And she's an enemy to both sides at the moment. So what actually resulted from these big protests? Because we all know there's this huge protest that happened. 2 million people took to the streets of Hong Kong, which we said before, out of a population of 7 million is a lot. Some mainland Chinese people that I know also went to join the protests too.
I got messages of my students as well.
And, basically it was just something that couldn't be ignored. So what happened was they put a suspension on the bill. Carrie Lam came out and apologized and said she's going to suspend it for now, type thing. And she thought it would go away. But then the protesters were like, no, we want this taken away. We want you to step down. So they gave her until yesterday, to respond to their demands. And she didn't respond to their demands. So they're regrouping
back up.
And they're going to be...
You're not going to see an end to this.
No.
But to go back to the whole, what do the mainland Chinese people see about this news?
Yeah.
There was finally somebody on the news that actually spoke out about this. And this is a PLA general, I believe.
Yes.
So People's Liberation Army for mainland China. He had an opinion about how Hong Kong should be dealt with. And this is pretty shocking stuff.
So we're going to play the clip for you.
Yeah,
we're going to play it in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to then, for those of you listening at home that can't read the subtitles, we will then just give you a gist of what's going on. Okay, so can we roll that clip, please, DM? There we are. Let's
晋江西藏就是中国的软肋嘛。另外，香港还要闹港独的雨伞革命啊，就是国际反华势力想把香港变成反共桥头堡。现在一个年轻人闹事儿，关键他其实讲起来，他是家长坏，加上这个教育问题。 1997年接触香港的时候，我那时候跟驻港部队领导也一起参加研究香港的社情。香港的社会基础，咱们实事求是讲，是中国最坏的地方，比台湾都坏。这毛主席当然讲中国社会和阶级分析，你分析一个地方情况，你首先分析它社会的社会状况。台湾真正反共的人并不多，当地居民80%，共产党无所谓。去的20%很多抓壮丁去的，香港可不一样。香港来讲，1997年咱们接管说，当时分析成分，居民成分3个1/3，1/3是香港原住民和他们后代受港英教育，他有点傲气，但是来讲对你大陆还没什么怨恨。1/3是最坏的。1949年、1950年被共产党清算斗争扫地出门跑去的，对你刻骨仇恨很多人。再有1/3，3年困难挨饿，那边偷渡，对你印象好得了。说香港回归之后就是一个大失误，现在也总结，一切都不变，你不去殖民化怎么行啊？你香港回归这20多年，教材还是用港英国属土公民教材，而且他原来想改教材，家长不让改，说学生坏，年轻人坏是家长坏，不让改教材。现在这20多年还是英国属土公民教材，说现在这些年轻学生闹事儿，他教育糟糕，是教育出了问题。我觉得现在咱们就是采取措施了。过去我们讲一个大教训，过分强调两制，没强调一国呀。去年咱们新特首林郑月娥上来之后，我觉得2件事干得好。第一件事，因为战中闹事儿的判刑；第二个来讲，从今年开始教材的改，你得用中国公民的教材，你怎么能用英国属土公民教材？但是把这些人教育过来，再多人搞教育都清楚，把这些人教育过来可不是1年2年能办到的事儿，这个教育还是个长期的问题。
Yeah, right. So,
paraphrase.
Yes, paraphrase. This guy, it's very insulting the way he speaks. First of all, for those of you who couldn't see, he's got a very arrogant air, and basically what he's saying that we need to educate Hong Kong people. Well, first of all, he says Hong Kong people are the worst.
Yeah.
Right?
They're the biggest problem of China that needs to be dealt with.
Even worse than Taiwan, he says.
So the two most developed and free areas.
Yes, exactly.
So the huge thing here is that we talked about foreign collusion, right? So again, he's blaming these British textbooks that the Hong Kong people were using in place of Chinese textbooks. Is the main issue as to why Hong Kong people they want freedom and they hate
why
China.
They cause chaos.
Right.
He says we shouldn't brainwash them earlier. Right. He says we should be giving them textbooks for Chinese citizens. They should not be allowed to use the textbooks from the British colonialists.
And the worst mistake that we promised Hong Kong in 1997 is that we would say it's left unchanged, and we should have changed it.
Should have changed it. We should have just gone in there and wiped
absorbed
it out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is, it's hard to understand, I think, as a Westerner.
Yeah.
When you watch something like that, because it's almost like he's defeating his own points in his speech. But you got to understand that's the way of control and harmony is much more important than speaking out and having justice in China or even in the Soviet system.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, if you can imagine it like this, let's just say the Soviet Union took over America, right, at some point. And any textbook that announced that America was the first to land on the moon, that would have to be purged. And it would have to be changed to say that the Soviet Union landed on the moon 10 years before.
Right.
And they can't stand it when anyone says, but hang on a second, there's proof that America landed there first. Like, no, that's wrong. We've got to change the books. We've got to give them our books that say the Soviets landed first. You know? Otherwise, they're going to run around with these stupid ideas in their heads.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah, it's really kind of an awful thing, and you have to understand that this is the kind of news that's
what I was going to say. Yeah,
that's what's on TV in China, right?
Right.
That's so Chinese people are watching this and saying, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, and then they're getting all this positive kind of propaganda stuff. And at the same time, just being told that anything that's happening in Hong Kong, first of all, either it isn't happening, or if it is happening, it's because of foreign meddling.
Right. But we'd be remiss, I think you mentioned this too, but we'd be remiss to say that everyone thinks like this. I guess Vivi, my wife, is shocked that most of the people on WeChat, her friends, thought this way.
Yeah.
But there are a very small, not necessarily minority, a very small vocal people in mainland China that are seeing through this crap. People that have VPNs.
Yeah.
People that are watching it. Like you said, we have people contacting us being like, how can I go help the protest? Because this is awful. Hong Kong is kind of our dream of what we want China to become. And it's going the other way around. We're absorbing it.
Yes, it is going the other way.
So congrats to the people that see through this. I mean, that's it's hard not to hate this PLA guy, but that's just how the government works.
Yeah,
and how it keeps order.
That's the thing is, until you see these things and you actually hear the opinions coming, from the horse's mouth, so to speak, you can make up your own ideas and you can think everything's kind of fine. But I always thought that China had a very mature stance when it came to Hong Kong with this one country, two systems thing, because Hong Kong is a fantastic place. You don't want to destroy what's been built there. You don't want to destroy
It's important.
Not only is it important, but it's a fantastic, unique place.
Yeah.
And so I always thought that hopefully mainland China could learn a lot from Hong Kong, because most of my Chinese friends who visit Hong Kong on a regular basis absolutely love it there.
Right.
They go there for a reason, they love the way it is. It's completely different for those of you who don't know. The shops there, the currency, everything, the law, the language, it's all different. Okay, it's not the same place. So going there is literally like traveling overseas. Mm-hmm. It's like going to another country and being like, wow, this place is fantastic. It's different. It's like flying across the world somewhere. So I was hoping that they'd pick up a lot of that rather than just try to basically hollow it out and make it another normal Chinese city, because that's just sad.
From my perspective, I just think it's pretty irresponsible for China to completely wipe out or displease the Hong Kong citizens because of money. I mean, China's always been a money-focused country. I mean, what country isn't? But it's such an important financial hub. It's such an important commerce area.
Yes.
And it's such an important place for China to get wealth into the country.
Yes.
So you wouldn't want to disrupt that. But the problem is a delicate balance between finance and political stability. And China is terrified of political stability.
Instability.
Instability.
Yeah. I have to quickly address, because I made the video about why Hong Kong is dangerous, right? And I got a lot of people telling me, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yes, Hong Kong used to be a very important, 20% of the entire of China's GDP, etc., etc. But now it's only 3%, and cities like Shanghai and Guangzhou and stuff have surpassed it. That doesn't actually matter, because places like Shanghai and Guangzhou, you do not have the freedoms, and you don't have the if I'm an investor and I'm coming into China, right, I'm going to set up my company in Hong Kong and then have a branch office in...
Chinese people do that.
Yeah, exactly. In Shanghai or in Guangzhou, because I know the law will protect me in Hong Kong. I know that, like in mainland China, the local government can't just say, your company belongs to us now, and then just confiscate my factory and kick me out and stuff. Because if I have a legal Hong Kong representative, and that's where my company is based, I can feel safe.
Sure.
So it's still massively important. Also, the GDP numbers in China are not transparent. It's very opaque, and you don't know if it's true or not. They could say whatever they want.
Right. So, not to mention personal GDP, which is wildly higher in Hong Kong than the rest of China.
Absolutely.
It hasn't even come close to catching up.
So just for people that are a bit confused about that,
sure.
Hong Kong still is a massively important financial hub and shipping hub. It's just in the right place. And like I said, for flights and stuff, people are always traveling through Hong Kong. It's massively important.
China.
If you disrupt it and destroy it and take away the freedoms and make people feel uneasy to go there, it's going to have massive repercussions.
Sure. Well, it might be an important shipping hub, but I don't know if it has anything on the port of
Dandong. We'll get to that.
Up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
That's pretty much Soft Power Hour.
Yeah. Oh no! I
right.
wanted to finish off Soft Power Hour with something I thought it would be remiss to not let all these students' artwork go to waste.
Yeah.
So this is a response to Carrie Lam.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier that the demands were not met, right? So this is the.
Can we just pause that for a second? My friend in Hong Kong, Dave, who is a photojournalist, etc., he did send me an audio clip about how he's been accused of being a CIA agent and all that nonsense. And the other people that he normally goes out and meets with in the photojournalist crowd. I can't play the clip, unfortunately, because the sound quality is so poor. I'm just kind of paraphrasing. But he basically said that everyone else in his groups, and he's exhausted because he's been out covering all this stuff, so I understand why he didn't have the time to sit down and find a professional mic or something. He says the majority of them are not even American, yet they're constantly appearing in Chinese media saying that they're CIA. You know what I mean?
They're
it's just
English
like French, French people, British people, etc., etc. So I just wanted to say that it is still a massive thing.
Right.
And I can tell you for a fact, because Dave, I've known him forever. We used to we used to teach English together back in the day, like, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, something like that? What am I saying? 13 years ago. My
Doesn't
maths.
matter.
Anyway, I can tell you for a fact he's not CIA.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
I know Dave. He's not CIA.
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
Okay, we're going to play this clip for you guys.
These are the new set of demands
Yeah, so let's watch it.
for Hong Kong.
And let's play.
I'm just gonna say, apparently the audio is like pretty loud. People are saying that in the chat, so maybe turn it down.
You can
I
turn
can.
it down in the player there.
There we go. Okay, let's see if this is better for you guys.
You're going to have to turn it up. Yeah, that's probably good.
I think it was peaking before.
Was it Peking Duck? We may have to pause it there. Okay. These are the demands for those of you who at the moment can't see this.
Sure.
The first demand is they need the extradition bill taken out, not just suspended. They want it like torn up and thrown away.
That's the thing. Is the leader of Hong Kong, Carrie Lam, I think she was like breathing a sigh of relief because she was like, we'll suspend it and everyone will shut up and then we can bring it up again later. And they're like, no.
Okay, let's move on to the second one. The second one is they want people to stop saying that these protests are riots.
Right.
Because they're not riots.
No.
Okay.
It's peaceful.
Very peaceful. There's footage of situations where, someone fainted and the crowd's moved out of the way so the ambulance can come and take care of the
This ain't no
person.
riot.
No, I was in Hong Kong during the 2014 umbrella riots, okay? A lot of crap broke down over there, but there was a big emphasis on not being violent from the protesters, and it still is that way. If you go and see what's going on there, it's incredibly peaceful.
Yes.
People are helping each other out, handing out water bottle.
Yeah.
It is the Hong Kong people. This is the way they are. And if you know Hong Kong people, they're incredibly civilized.
Yes.
All right?
They're cleaning up after the protests.
Yeah, they go out there and they clean
Sweep
up
it
all
up,
the... Okay. They are not riots because I've seen riots. I grew up in Africa. I've seen burning tires and cars being set on fire, people stoning people to death, necklacing them. I actually seen a necklace victim with my own eyes. I know what it's like. I've seen riots. These are not riots. These are peaceful protests. So that's the second demand, is to stop calling them riots.
Right.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Yeah. So after... Okay, just pause it there for a second. The third one is they are demanding the release of the arrested protesters.
Yes, because freedom of speech is guaranteed, right, in Hong Kong.
Yeah, especially students and those who are wounded.
Right.
Okay, let's continue. The fourth demand is accountability for police brutality.
Yeah, a lot of you guys probably saw footage of people getting pepper sprayed in the face and they're not doing anything, or like rubber bullets, and the guy got shot in the head.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to make any fans here when I say that I actually do respect the Hong Kong police a lot. And this is just from my own past experiences. Can we go to the wide? I just want to tell a quick story, sorry. Basically, and this actually involves Dave as well, all right? And I want you to chirp in because you've had similar situations. We were out drinking. This was kind of recently, a couple of months ago. So Dave and I were out drinking, and I'm a big drinker, and we have a bit of a riot. So we're out there at the beer bay, which is
you did have a riot, huh?
yeah, real riot. So we got pretty sauced. I wouldn't say like paralytic or anything, but we were pretty sauced. And we flagged down a taxi. And Dave lives out in the middle of nowhere in the New Territory. So it's a long drive. It's like an hour from downtown to get there in a taxi. So we flag down this taxi and we get in the taxi. I've got footage of this, by the way, if anyone ever wants to see it someday, because I was drunkenly recording the whole thing. We get in the taxi and we say, right, we want to go to XYZ place where he lives. And the taxi driver says, no, I'm not going to take you there. You have to get out the taxi. And we're like, no. By law, you have to take us, because in Hong Kong they have a law. Taxis can't refuse to take you if it's within their jurisdiction or whatever. And so he was like, "No, I'm not going to take you. Get out of the taxi." We're like, "Nope, we're not going anywhere." So he's like, "Fine, I'm going to." we're going to go to the police. And we're like, fine, take us to the police, right? You know, getting a little belligerent because we're really pissed off. You know? So he takes us to the police. And he starts, because he's obviously Cantonese, and he starts complaining. Dave can understand Cantonese perfectly fine. He's been living there for so long, you know. And he's basically saying, these stupid foreigners won't get out of my car, you know. I don't want to take them there. It's too far out, etc., etc. And I was speaking to the cops in Mandarin because they could speak Mandarin fluently as well. And I was like, this is crap. This is incorrect. We need to get home. He has to take us there. So the cops basically at the end of the day told the driver, you have to take them home. If you don't, we're going to prosecute you.
That's awesome.
So he actually drove us all the way, swearing the whole way. You know? And I filmed that too. So he's like behind the wheel, like, you know, exactly. So not very, very happy. Yeah, exactly. He was not happy. But the fact of the matter is that that kind of thing, if it happens in mainland China, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, do we even have to say?
Yeah.
Are you joking me? They'll be like, look at these stupid foreigners. And instead of saying you must take them home, they'll be like, go home yourself. Get out of here. We're going to arrest you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. A mob would probably form.
Yeah, I'd probably get a mob and be like, get out of here.
Anyways, the fact of the matter is Hong Kong is probably the safest place in the world.
It is. I think it's top two.
Whenever I've been there, I've never felt in any danger whatsoever. No. People there are civilized. They look after each other. Even that when I got attacked by that drunk, that was just more of a fun sort of tongue-in-cheek thing. It was ridiculous. And the people around pulled him away.
They helped.
And they were the ones.
Laughed.
Yeah, and they were the guys actually helping him.
Sure.
When he was puking and stuff.
Sure.
They stood him up, patted him on the back, made sure he had his cell phone, and all this crap he dropped down.
If that happened in China, dude.
It's a different story. Anyway, rule of law in Hong Kong is a real thing.
Yeah.
The cops walk around, they're armed with revolvers and stuff. They take care of business and they make sure things work there. The problem is with these protesters, they made some really bad choices.
Yeah. It does happen.
Yeah, it happens. And of course, there's all sorts of conspiracies that, you know, those aren't real Hong Kong cops.
There's Beijing cops, Shenzhen
blah,
cops.
Blah, blah. Who knows what the real deal is? But the fact of the matter is, I just wanted to put it out there that I don't demonize Hong Kong police.
No, not in the whole.
Not in the whole.
No, for sure.
But these guys definitely stepped out of line. And so this is why they want accountability.
And that makes sense. This is rule of law, right?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
All right, let's see what our next one is. The resignation of Carrie Lam is the next one.
Yeah, so the leader of Hong Kong, they want her to step down. And this is, I don't even want to think if she actually like voluntarily stepped down without like replacing herself with another pro-Beijing politician, like what would happen to her and her family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is an unrealistic demand as far as I'm concerned because she can't step down. Well, Beijing
can.
Well, Beijing won't allow her to step down because that means that they would have lost this battle.
The battle, they lost it.
And they would, you know, that means that the people actually have a voice and can actually change things.
Sure.
And that's not how China operates, and that's not going to happen.
And that's what's so nerve-wracking about this is this demand, like you said, is quite unrealistic. Yeah. And if it's not met, then what's next? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's let this play out, and then we'll move on. All right. Props to the artist, by the way. That was actually quite well done.
Yeah, whoever put this together did a good job. Yeah. Anyway, let's.
I thought that was interesting because that's right on the cusp. We're gonna see what's gonna happen soon.
Yes.
Anyway, should we hit some super chats?
Yes, let's get a super chat before we move on to the next segment.
Sure. Alrighty. So Da Dawn, I think I'm saying that right, gave us $25. Quite generous. They said, "Have you guys ever been to Suzhou?" Sea Milk says he wasn't too impressed with Jiangsu in his last video, but I think this may be one of the most beautiful cities I've ever visited.
Okay, I can easily say that. I didn't talk about Jiangsu that much because I just rode through it. I went to Suzhou and it was a beautiful city, but I wasn't basing the entire province off of that one city, right? It's the whole province that I had seen. And much of Jiangsu, to me, was factory road.
It's
kind
relentless.
Of unimpressive.
It's relentless,
yeah. So, I mean, Suzhou is pretty and stuff, but I didn't judge that whole thing. But anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, cool. We got another one there?
Yeah, I can bring another one. They said, let's see. Mark Grisnich. Question: what are you guys' thoughts on the GDHKM, Greater Bay Area Megalopolis project?
Oh, that's the where they're going to combine Guang, like basically Hong Kong and
is that what it's called?
Yeah, I believe.
It's Hong Kong, Shenzhen, Zhuhai,
Guangzhou.
Huizhou, Guangzhou, I just said Shenzhen.
Yeah.
And Macau.
It's ridiculous.
It's going to be the biggest mega city in the world, right?
It really is. Like when you drive from Shenzhen to Guangzhou, it's pretty much a city the whole way.
Yeah.
I mean, it already is almost
Dude,
getting to that.
Every week we used to drive to each other's houses in two different cities. There's not nature in between them.
A very, very small amount. And
it's
only
a city.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's huge. Crazy. What do I think about it? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's good if it's all interconnected at the same time. I don't know how the Hong Kong and Macau people feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say what's going to happen there because remember, different currencies, different rules of law, etc.
Sure.
So I can't really have an opinion other than it already is.
If you want to see a hell of a lot of people, you go there.
Yeah, it already is kind of like that anyway.
It is.
In a way.
Yeah, it's already interconnected with the high-speed rail and stuff.
I mean, think about it. You can hop on a high-speed rail and get from China directly into Hong Kong.
Yeah, you can.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you.
Cool. Let's move on to our next different thing here, which is Guangxi Corner. Guangxi Corner, as you know, is where somebody sends us a question, usually relationship related. So let's see. What do we got, DM?
All right. So this individual says, "Hi, my name's Samantha. I've been teaching English in Dongguan since 2015. I've been dating a Chinese man who I met through work, and things have been great since he treats me like a princess. A few months into our relationship, he insisted that I move out of my company dorms and even pays for my apartment. The problem is that I recently found out that he's married and has been for the whole 2 years that we've been dating. He assures me that it's normal and that his wife knows about us and she doesn't mind since this is very typical in China. Normally, I would break up with him immediately, but without him, I would have been completely lost here in China. I don't know what to do. Is there any advice you can give me?"
First of all, I want to make a disclaimer. This is not Jerry Springer. Just in case you got that impression. Heart goes out to you, Samantha, but I'm going to throw some caveats in here. Before you guys immediately jump down her whatever throat, I guess that's what you say. Before you guys jump down her throat and be like, "You're so stupid, how could you be in a relationship with a married man? Like, get out of there." There's a lot of power. There must be a lot of power in that relationship because if you think about it, if they met through work, he's paying for an apartment.
Yep.
He's probably, I'm just going to assume, fairly well connected and probably quite wealthy.
Yep.
If she, says we're not going to be together anymore, her career could be over in China. Yeah. She could be out.
Yeah.
Right. So I get her concern. That's the concern I want you guys to understand first.
Yeah. Also, the dependency that happens. It happens the other way around too. We know a lot of foreigners who are very dependent on their wives or girlfriends.
That's so common.
You've got people who've been living in China longer than you and me who can't actually speak Chinese.
Right.
And these guys, they rely on their wives to sort everything out for them if they have any trouble with the
bills,
law, setting up internet.
Right.
Renting an apartment, getting a car, everything.
Stuff that we learned immediately when we got there.
Yeah, these are things that I absolutely insisted I do myself.
Of course.
But this is obviously the flip side now, where she's now relying on him to do everything for her.
Right.
And that's like your lifeline in China. You have to understand, as a foreigner, you are very much an outsider. And, to get things done is very difficult. There are certain things you actually cannot do unless you're a Chinese citizen.
Right.
And you need a Chinese citizen to do them for you or to help you set it up.
It sounds like I don't know this woman, but it sounds like she does like him, though. I don't know if she feels threatened by this, but I mean, it's absolutely not okay.
Why are we not talking about the elephant in the room?
Yeah,
the guy says it's normal in China to cheat on your wife.
Right. Can I answer that very fairly?
Yes.
It is normal.
Yeah, it is.
For his wife to tolerate an outside extramarital relationship, I don't buy that for a second.
No, I think he's lying about that.
Absolutely hiding it from her.
Yeah.
It's so common, but it's not accepted.
It's not accepted, no. It is just common. And the thing is, it comes from a lot of different parts of society there. Number one, China's always had a history of like emperors with concubines and stuff like that. Okay, you can kind of make that excuse.
Sure.
But the second thing is, people marry very young.
Yeah.
Okay, in fact, we've talked about this all the time. It is. When they're in their early 20s, like 21, 22, 23, the pressure from their grandparents and their parents to
Right.
get married and have a child
Right.
is immense. So when you've got that kind of pressure, you kind of just get married without knowing a person, just because you kind of want to get that pressure out of there. You
Yeah.
want them to shut the hell up
Yeah.
and leave you alone. Very often it's arranged,
Yeah.
you know? So you get married, you have a kid, and then you realize like a year or two down the line, you actually can't stand the person,
Sure.
or you don't love them or whatever, because you're too young. We've all
Right.
made... Man, you know, my first couple of girlfriends, if I think about it, I can't stand them. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm stupid, you know?
Yeah, I don't really get into that.
Yeah, you know? So,
I will make a little disclaimer. This is
Okay.
rapidly changing.
yeah, I guess so.
People are fighting against their parents' demands for this.
Yeah.
But that generation, like my wife's generation, our generation,
Yeah.
they got locked down into that.
Sure.
And a lot of her friends are toying with the idea of extramarital relationships.
lot of
and it's
loveless
not
marriages.
It's not. I'm not putting this on Chinese men, because a lot of her female friends are doing this.
Dude, you know, it's I hate to dox all the foreign expats out there, but it's a big thing. You know, all the foreign guys sitting at the bar talking about how they screw all their like married students and
Right,
stuff because it's
right.
so easy, because they're
Right.
not getting the satisfaction at home, so
Right.
it's super easy. They're
And
like,
vice versa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
But-
the
but-
women. Yeah.
but that's
the
what
men.
I'm saying. That the women
Right.
kind of go to the English training centers to look for a foreign
Because
guy
they know
to-
they're unattached.
Yeah, to
Right.
mess around with and stuff.
Right.
It's rampant.
It's not only foreigners. It's like young, handsome Chinese dudes that are not tied down yet. They'll go pick up some of those cougars that are married. You know what I mean?
exactly.
It does happen at the bars.
Yeah. No, it totally does. So
What's
look,
our advice?
the advice? I think
You gotta cut ties.
No, I think this is what it is. It's you got to look at yourself. Are you comfortable with this? Do you think that this is where you want to be in your life? That you're a mistress, because
Sure.
that's all you are.
Yeah, for sure.
You're basically a paid-for mistress, because you've got your apartment paid for you.
Right.
He's probably giving you money every month, buying you a
If-
car or whatever. Do you want that? Do you want to be a mistress?
And if you really don't, and you are intimidated by this, Samantha, my advice would be the threats are usually very localized in China. So if you're scared that this guy's going to try to screw you over, or get rid of your job and stuff, get rid of the apartment, move, get a different English teaching job in a different city, and break contact.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave China.
Yeah.
You know.
No, you don't. But
No.
the thing is, if it looks like it's going to be messy, then you probably should just move first and then tell him.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, don't even tell him.
Yeah.
You know, you're already being a cheating mechanism. You know, that got really deep. Anyway.
Yeah. You know what?
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, go for
I was gonna chime in. So I was just gonna ask, what you guys are more up on this than I am, but if let's say the wife, he's lying, like the wife doesn't know about it, what would happen if she does find out? Like, I don't know how Chinese law is, because they're really big on family values. I would assume it would be some kind of scandal, and he would have to drop her at that point anyway. So it's kind of like a sword of Damocles, right? Like she's under threat of being dropped at any point, even if because I doubt the wife really is okay with it as well.
Right. I mean, legally, what would happen is, I mean, if they really wanted to bring divorce into this, which it probably wouldn't come down to, he'd get a scolding at home.
Oh, dude, you know, we have a lot of... We don't even need to guess here,
Yeah,
because
that's
we
true.
know what happens.
Right.
What happens is the husband is never blamed. The mistress is always blamed.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, the wife often will hire like thugs to beat up the mistress, or she'll go there with her friends
How
and
many videos every day
beat them
do
up
we see
on
of
the
this?
streets
Yeah.
and tear their hair
Bricks.
and tear their clothes off.
Right.
You can look this up. It happens incredibly often in China. It's kind of the way to do it. Don't blame the husband, blame the mistress.
How many times have we seen that?
Too many times. Too many
Anyway,
times.
yeah, so get out of that
Just
situation
get out of the
if you're
situation.
not happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah,
Super
let's-
chat, I believe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's do a super chat. What do we got?
Okay. Let's see. Why does Nathan Rich always have an excuse for PRC? I'm not exactly sure what that even means.
Okay. Well, pop to us. We're not gonna.
We don't talk about weirdos on this channel.
Yeah.
Not at the moment, anyway.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's see.
Maybe
Let's
get
move
a
on to the
legit
next
one.
one. Yeah. Well, let's get a legit one.
Okay. What are the Winnie Pooh references about from Big Tex? I mean, that's just what they call him, right? It's a meme.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very simply answered. He kind of looks like Winnie the Pooh.
Xi Jinping, the
Xi
leader of
Jinping.
China, looks like Winnie the Pooh, and you know it's such a missed opportunity.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know, it's
lovable.
Yeah, it's lovable and harmless. And if Xi Jinping actually embraced this, it would change his image for the whole
Yeah,
world.
and the rest of the
People-
world. I mean, some people are that shallow. you know, they would look at him not as this evil villain with like flames behind him or whatever. And they'd be like, Winnie the Pooh, I can hug that guy.
Yeah, he's super cute and lovable.
Terrible wasted opportunity of good
Except
PR.
he doesn't like it, so he banned Winnie the Pooh in China. He's like, no Winnie the Pooh.
It's not fully banned in China.
Yeah, but things like the Christopher Robin...
You can't compare them.
The movie was not allowed to be shown. You know, like, any references to...
How do you get butthurt about that?
Yeah.
Come on.
You know, because my name's Winston, they used to call me Winnie Mandela in school.
Did you get mad?
I didn't
Did you
like
ban
it.
them?
No, I didn't ban them. I didn't like it. They also used to call me Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
so
okay.
I've actually been called Winnie the Pooh a lot.
Dude,
and
you guys should hang out.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Good
don't mind.
PR.
Yeah, cool. All right. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to our next segment, which is Worldview.
Worldview.
Okay.
You know what's funny is that worldview always tends to have something to do with China.
Well,
but this one is very apt and very pertinent to our hotel stays in China.
Yes, we have to go to a picture.
Just leave it up there, Dan.
And then go to the next one. Yeah, we've already talked about that. Okay. What's this?
This is the Vienna Hotel. Like
The Vienna Hotel.
Vienna Hotel is probably one of our favorite hotel chains in
We
China.
love the Vienna Hotel.
Let's be fair. It's not a great hotel, but for what you get for the price,
Dude,
it's
amazing.
fantastic.
You get this kind of fake ornate French furniture, you know, like those kind of like curvy cabinets with drawers that are fake that don't open.
It's vomit-inducing.
It's got like gold pressed ceilings.
Right.
The fact of the matter is that you can find a Vienna hotel in almost every city.
Major city,
even crappy cities.
Even crap cities, you're right.
So you go to like a crappy city and you basically have like a pigsty to stay in, or the Vienna Hotel. And it's always clean.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like the
no
same.
thieves.
Yeah, it's good. The service is great. The staff are amazing. The bed's comfortable. It's a nice place to stay, and so it's always like my number one choice.
Right. I mean, we don't like the motif.
It's so.
But for like
tacky.
$30 a night, we actually did
Kitsch.
we did a series. If you guys are interested later, go on ADVChina and type in 5-star hotel biggest disappointment and see what a 5-star Sheraton looks like.
Yeah.
And then we compared it to a Vienna.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a Vienna. It was a business hotel.
But it's almost
the
identical.
same. It's the same. Yeah.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Anyway, why are we talking about this?
Well, apparently the government has said that they have to change their name. Why?
Well, Vienna is foreign, right? In Vienna Hotel, the reason that this is the highest profile one is because it's one of the biggest hotel chains in China.
Right.
But tons of hotel chains in lots of places that have foreign names, like Ornate Garden or like Imperial Palace or something like that.
Yeah.
They're being forced to change their name because it goes against China. It's not a Chinese identity, right? So they're pinpointing these areas, and now it's going to be like a nationwide thing where they have to change the name of their entire branding.
That's so petty. So what are they going to call themselves?
I don't actually know. I couldn't find.
Binhai Jiudian.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those.
It's going to be. They're going to have to name it after like a city in China, I guess.
Remember that hotel that didn't let us stay, the Fruit Business Hotel? I wonder if that's like anti-China.
Fruit's something you can find in China.
Yeah, that's true.
I've seen a lot of fruits in China.
Me too, for sure.
Yeah.
Can I comment something adjacent to that? So I find it very interesting that they are saying that Vienna is not a Chinese identity, right? I've actually been to Austria. I went to Vienna and to Salzburg. And Salzburg is famously the birthplace of Mozart. Everything's named Mozart there. And I believe in Vienna, they have a Mozart classical music school. And our tour guide was telling us that most of the students at the Mozart school in Vienna are Asian.
Okay.
Like Europeans aren't even sending their kids to study there to like learn the cello and stuff. They're all like Yo-Yo Ma status now.
Sure.
So I just find that very interesting that it's sort of like a double standard.
Oh, it is. It's big time. And DM, that's a good point because there's no bigger love for like Mozart and Western like ornate things, classical music, piano, instruments, learning all this stuff than Chinese people.
Absolutely.
Right. So it is just it's so
stupid.
dumb.
It's stupid.
Stop it, guys. Just let it be the Vienna Hotel.
Thing is, I've been through that. You know, South Africa, obviously after apartheid ended and they took over the government, like any name that kind of was a famous person during the apartheid government, they wanted to get rid of it, right?
Right.
That's legitimate, okay?
Right.
So like you'll get Hendrik Verwoerd Drive will become
some like bad dude.
Boli Drive or something, or you know, like Nkala Drive or something. They'll change it to an African name or something. Okay. So I've seen how it devastates businesses because imagine you've been on that road forever. That's your address. It's on all your business cards, on your letterheads. It's your whole identity, and it has to change. So I can sympathize with these hotels. And the problem is this is not a legitimate reason, okay? It's like us going to America and any restaurant that says Sichuan restaurant or something saying, wrong, you have to call it American food.
Delicious
restaurant.
American food restaurant.
Yeah, like the Hong Kong Plaza, you're going to have to, no, that's not allowed.
That's
you
the
have
New
to
York
call
Plaza.
it. Yes, exactly. It's so stupid.
It's super petty, and it's I get what their narrative is.
Yeah.
The Chinese government's trying to say, for too long we've worshipped other countries' stuff, but our stuff is just as good, if not better. So now we have to show that.
Yeah, I know, but this forceful strong arm tactics.
Oh, it's not. It's dumb. I'm just saying. I know why they're doing this.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Anyway, I guess we'll head into the Q&A.
Let's do the Q&A.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Questions.
So, yeah, we answer questions not only from super chats but also Instagram and just in
normal chats.
Normal chats.
Hook us up, dog.
Yeah. What do you got?
All right. I'll open it with an Instagram question since you've been doing all the super chats. Somebody asked, what advice would he give to a teen going to China to teach English for a month with a group?
Very good opportunity.
Yep.
If you're going with a group, this is going to be a big problem because when you're in such a crazy, strange place, and that could be Japan, it could be Korea, it could be anywhere, Russia, you're going to want to stick with a group.
Sure.
Right? It's going to be your safety blanket. You'll probably have like an adult with you.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be like, come here for lunch, do this and this. Break away. Get
Yeah.
out of that.
Yeah, get away from it. That's the thing. When I first got to China as well, one of the first jobs I got was like a kind of a summer camp thing up in Guangzhou. And this was in 2006. And I remember I went up there with a mixed bag of different people from all over. But everything was so foreign and strange that the foreigners just kind of stuck together.
Yeah.
And
What happens?
it creates this insular bubble that doesn't allow you to really experience what's going on. I was lucky that I was staying by myself in a hotel in a different part of town. So even though I did hang out with them most of the time, I had to walk back and forth to this like summer camp thing that they were doing. And during that time, I got to explore so much because it was the first time I saw people making baozi on the side of the road. And I went there and I was like, wow, now that's a great bao, No, but seriously. No, I would go there and I would be like, what's everyone lining up for over here? Right? Sorry about that. Anyway, so then what I do is just kind of go there and like, okay, I want one of those.
Right.
Can't speak the language. I like kind of hand signal. I tried out. This is awesome. You know
what's weird is that seemingly innocuous, very easy scenario to deal with to us is no big deal, but you don't realize until you go somewhere that foreign how insular you actually become and shy you become, especially when you can't speak the language.
You can't speak the language. You don't know what the money currency
is.
Just
do it,
like,
though.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, when we went to the summer camp or whatever, everything was provided for us. We'd get some crappy little box meal with rice and a bit of wet vegetables and oily meat, And that's what everyone was eating. And everyone thought this is China, It's nonsense because the crap I got to see going to and from was so much more interesting.
Sure.
And became so interesting that I stopped hanging out with the foreigners.
Yeah.
I'd go out by myself and explore.
Right.
So yeah, I that's the advice. Get out there and explore for yourself.
As much as I didn't want to leave my little group in my first ESL job, that's the first thing I forced myself to do, and it's the best thing that I could have ever done.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, let's do some more. It's going to take us a while, so we got to rip through these.
Yeah, let's get another one.
All right. Pablo Gonzalez. He asked, Western franchise giant Star Wars consistently underperforms in China in the box office and critical reception. Why do you think that is?
I got one theory.
Okay, go for it.
My first theory is that there's no China in it. So if you see a lot of these movies like Transformers or G.I. Joe or whatever, there's always some sort of element of China in these movies. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
A lot of these Hollywood movies that do well.
Actually, they put specific scenes from China in the ones that get shown in China just so that they are past the board of Bureau of Films or whatever.
So for Star Wars, it's too fantastical. It's out of the realm of guojia, of countries, in my mind. That's my first theory. What do you think?
Okay. Well, the fact of the matter is, like, back when the original Star Wars came out, no one in China could see them. So
no nostalgia.
There's no nostalgia. And imagine if the first Star Wars you ever saw was like one of the prequels. You'd just hate the series because it's crap.
True.
So sorry for anyone who liked those.
I mean, I like all Star Wars, but I prefer the older ones.
Jar Jar Binks, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Jar Jar.
I mean, Revenge of the Sith is all right.
Yeah, for sure.
If anyone saw Jar Jar Binks as their first Star Wars experience, I don't blame them for hating the whole series and never wanting to see another one. And that's probably what
sucks is that's the only character that my daughter likes. She watches Jar Jar Binks compilations
that's
on
terrible.
YouTube.
That's terrible.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Chuk Wan, he asked, my wardrobe is nothing but black clothes. If I wear black in Hong Kong, will people, even journalists, see me as a diss? I believe he means a dissident.
No.
No,
Actually,
not at all.
no.
No, it's quite common to see people wearing black in Hong Kong. Remember, it's quite a professional city. A lot of people wearing suits.
Right.
Go down to Central or something.
Right.
Everyone's in a suit and tie.
And honestly,
Makes me feel bad because they're all wearing these really expensive
Right.
suits, and I'm just in my normal.
you're just normal. You
Yeah.
can't stand out.
Yeah.
Honestly, no, it doesn't matter because even if you're seen as a dissident, everyone will love you there.
Yeah, they'll support you. Don't forget,
the
Hong
majority of Hong
Kong,
Kong.
the majority of Hong Kong are for what's going on there,
Right.
the protests and stuff. The
Yeah,
only
so-
people that might not like you are the communists. You know.
Who cares about
Yeah.
that? Come on.
Yeah, you're safe in Hong Kong. It's a safe
Wear
place.
black. Wear black all you want. All right, DM.
All right. Do you think China's lack of civility plays a role in the reason why quote unquote shit foreigners are also commonplace?
Throwing shade on the fellow Lao Wai. Absolutely.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Because you can be a vulgar piece of crap in China, and no one's going to do anything.
For the
to
most
you.
part, yeah.
It bugged me. It bugged,
If you
bugged
fight,
the-
if you fight people.
yeah, no, but it bugged the hell out of me when
Me
I
too.
first got there because you'd meet these absolute scummy people. You know, people that I would never ever associate with in my life.
People that have been ostracized in their home country because
That
they're so gross.
They literally just whoring around, drunk all the time, teaching kids at kindergarten, on
Hungover.
high on cocaine and
Right.
drunk and
Right.
rolling around and being absolute garbage people, going out at night and getting drunk and just
Causing
stumbling around,
shit.
throwing bottles on the
Yeah.
ground, doing all this kind of crap. And
Because they can get away with it.
yeah, there's a lot. They can get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
There have been a lot of situations in the beginning where I've been hanging out with a bunch of foreigners. We're sitting out at a table somewhere, and they start doing some really disgusting
Right.
stuff. I got up and left, and just
You
didn't-
gotta
didn't-
distance
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
So yeah, 100%. That's absolutely the reason.
Because no one will stop you.
No.
That's the problem. Unless there's, like you said, some kind of altercation which becomes
Yeah.
us versus
Yeah,
them,
then it's
China
different.
versus
But
foreign.
if you're just being rude, you're fine.
You could go there. I could sit on the side of the road in China for the whole day, spitting, blowing my nose out,
Guzzling vodka.
urinating in the bush,
Right.
doing what I want.
Right.
And I've actually seen people doing that.
Yeah.
And no one will come over and say, hey, listen, man, the kids around here don't
Right,
do
don't
that.
do that.
Yeah.
It won't happen.
No one. In fact, that's what my video tomorrow is going to be about.
Oh, cool.
So,
Nice.
yeah. Cool. Let's have another.
All right. So Ironclad X21 technically gave us $10, but just in $5 installments.
Okay, thank you.
Said, hey, Winston, congrats to you and Sasha on being pregnant. I'm happy for you too. When are you guys coming to Canada? Can you please come to Winnipeg? Because I'm planning to move to Shenzhen later this year and would love to meet you before I go.
Okay, Shenzhen, by the way, just so you know.
A little Chinese
Yeah,
lesson.
yeah. It means deep, I don't know, like ditch.
I don't know why.
I guess
It's on sea level.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I'd love to go to Canada. It's part of our plans. We're planning a trip up to Canada.
Yeah,
actually.
unfortunately, we have so many other things coming before that.
Yeah, we've got
We're
Mexico,
stretched
India.
in, guys.
Yeah, but
Stretched thin.
the thing is, I need to apply for a visa to go to Canada, so
That
that also
sucks.
kind of is a bit of a wrench in the works, and that's why I haven't just popped up there because I'd love to go to Canada.
Yeah.
But the fact that I have to go through bloody visa process, which will take about a month, who knows? It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll
Thank
figure
you.
it out.
Thank
But,
you.
and dude, like Shenzhen's amazing.
Yeah, you love it.
You know, no matter what we say about mainland China, when we talk about the problems, we're usually talking about the government and stuff. The actual place is awesome. People
Yeah.
are awesome. You're gonna love it there. Shenzhen.
We shouldn't have to explain
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You've seen my videos. It's awesome. I love Shenzhen. It's my favorite city in China. 100%. Cool. What's next?
All right. Sunny Chow says, how much Cantonese can both of you understand from living in Guangdong and marrying Hong Kong wives? How difficult do you think the language is to learn?
Oh, I can only speak a little,
Moa, Momantaya.
but I can understand. I'm gonna say 60% because I hear it all frickin' day.
You're way better at Cantonese than I am, and
Yeah, I
yeah.
hear more of it than
Yeah,
you
you
do.
do. Yeah, because I lived in Shenzhen's a Mandarin,
Mandarin, yeah.
city the whole time. So basically, I would just hear Mandarin all the time.
And Huizhou is not a Cantonese city, but the area I lived in had tons of Cantonese speakers, and my whole family only speaks Cantonese.
It's super annoying.
So, yeah.
Because every time I go back with my wife's family, they try to be polite in the beginning. They know I can
Every
speak
time.
Mandarin, so they speak Mandarin for about 5 minutes. They
Right.
try their best, but then they just naturally switch back into
Right.
Guangdong Hua, Yue,
Cantonese, yeah.
and they just go at like light speed.
Right.
So unless
You're like,
you really good, it's hard. I'd say that I can understand a very basic
Okay.
kind of framework of what's being said, but I'm not very good at Cantonese.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I don't know if you guys want to touch on this, but it's being spammed in the chat, so I felt obligated.
Okay.
Thoughts?
That's the way it works.
Thoughts on Uyghurs?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool peeps.
They're interesting because they're an ethnic minority in China. They're a Muslim ethnic minority, and a lot of them look Western.
Well, they're racially vastly different. They have nothing to do with China. I had a Uyghur friend in Inner Mongolia. We rode dirt bikes together.
Yes.
Super awesome, nice guy.
Remember when we did our quest for the best documentary?
Oh, that guy was super chill.
Yeah, we met a Uyghur guy in San Francisco who watches our stuff, and that was awesome. It was super nice to meet him.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to get into the whole... Well, we will at some point. We'll talk about it. We need a little more information. But yeah, I mean, it sucks what's going on there right now.
There's some pretty terrible things happening up there, but whatever it is what it is.
Right.
We'll get around to that.
Sure.
Yeah, it's what's next.
All right. Jen After Next Tactics asks, do you ever talk with China Uncensored? He's in Hong Kong right now.
I've spoken to him through emails, but we don't know each other, if that makes sense. We were aware of each other.
I've always had a bit of a kind of a beef with the guy, but there's not really a beef. It's not really a beef. The thing is, being compared to him all the time made me feel
it's kind of like being compared to Dash.
Yeah, it's kind of like, my channel is China Uncensored. The channel has a very specific mission.
Satire.
Okay, it's satire, but it's a very specific anti-China, anti-communist China message. And every video that is produced on China Uncensored is a piss take against the communist government, which has never been my, maybe lately, but it's never really been my mission.
Sure.
So the whole thing is like I didn't like to be compared because living in China especially, you don't want to be associated with like an anti-government message channel. Yeah, you see?
For sure.
So that's been my beef. Like I'm not disputing what he says because although it's a lot of it's exaggerated and it's satire, it's coming from a place of truth.
Right.
Right. I do know the guy through another guy. Actually, he's a friend of a friend. And who knows? Maybe one of these days we'll get together and do a big collab.
He seems like a decent person.
Seems like a nice guy. I've got nothing against him personally.
Neither do I.
Yeah. Cool. So what's next?
Cool. All right. Cesario JPN says, still no Taiwanese beer sponsorship. The people really want to know about that.
Yeah, we'll give you an update every video.
If I could choose one beer to drink right now, it would be that 18-day or whatever that was. 8-day. That Taiwanese
we literally
beer.
Talked about this last time.
I want that now.
I want it now too. You know what sucks?
What?
Is I'm so stupid. Why haven't I contacted the company?
Let's do it.
We're definitely gonna contact them and ask.
Yeah.
Dude, awesome. I think I might have already done that.
Really?
Yeah, like months back.
Okay.
I'll follow up.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
All right. Gabriel Taylor just says you guys should write a book. Interesting thought. Let's see. What is... Oh, read... can't even read that. How hard is it to find a beer like Heineken in China? Back on the beer motif.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. Heineken's is not a problem. You'll find it in like any convenience store.
Right.
But like you said, a lot of it's fake. So you have to be careful. Try to go to brand name stores. Like
even then.
Yeah, I know.
Our Walmart was busted for fake booze.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Walmart.
Yeah.
And it had an American manager.
Yeah, that's kind of horrible.
He was like 20.
Okay. Oh well, he's American.
Were the Cougars going there to pick up the Walmart employees?
Cool.
All right. Next, Shifty Sloth asks, they say, I went to Shanghai and most of the food/meat I ate had an aftertaste like rotting garbage. Never experienced this in Beijing and Xi'an. Why is this?
Okay, well, first of all, the way of cooking is very different, right?
Yeah.
You go to Beijing and Xi'an, a lot of that meat's going to be roasted, and the smoky taste kind of covers it up. It's like when people smoke meat, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds really bad. Anyway. In Shanghai, they'll go to the local butcher and stuff, and keep in mind, you've seen this in the wet markets, the meat will have been out for a long time.
Yes.
And the way it's prepared is it's cooked quickly in the wok with like sugar and stuff, right? Yeah. So the aftertaste and stuff is going to come out a lot more.
Yeah, also, the way meat is transported and kept in China, it's not refrigerated most of the time. You see it gets taken in the back of a truck, and when you've got these humid climates, like Shanghai is incredibly humid in summer. Right. So especially if this happened during summer, it would explain it. The meat probably was a little bit off. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
You get accustomed to it, your stomach gets accustomed to it, and it's just the way things are there, It's not like you don't have a USDA whatever approved grade A system over there. It's just kind of we need beef, just go grab it.
Right.
Someone comes on a motorcycle with a split pig and
hopefully
drags it on the ground. Yeah, or whatever. For beef. Well, no, they've got like mink or whatever.
It's true.
This is beef.
Raccoon.
They keep busting people who take other kinds of meat and they chemically alter it to taste like lamb or something.
Come on, guys, just kill the lamb.
I know. Anyway,
It seems like more work than it's worth.
Yeah, it is.
All right. gonna go for another one from Instagram. And if you want to ask a question on Instagram, follow us at ADV Podcasts. We've got lots of polls and posts and memes and reminders. It's a good way to get yourself reminded of the stream coming up. So they ask, with Carrie Lam's decision to suspend the extradition bill, is this a sign of democracy and hope for Hong Kong? I don't know if you already addressed that, but
no, this is good.
We can go for it.
I mean, the suspension is the exact opposite of what you asked. The suspension of this bill and not the scrapping of the bill is showing that there is not a democratic decision on this extradition bill.
Sure.
It's just putting it off.
Yeah.
In hopes of what?
But, well, I mean, the thing is, in hopes of being able to just enforce it later, or like slip it in while no one's watching.
Yeah.
You know, the
That's
thing.
what'll happen.
Yeah. The thing is, I am still blown away that it was actually suspended in the first place.
Yeah.
No, I am. Because
I see what you mean.
they were so like adamant that like, no, we're pushing it through. It's going to happen. And so that's why 2 million bloody people went out to the streets.
Right.
That's the reason. It's because they just wouldn't relent.
Sure. It's just, it's not enough. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what the people are saying. It's not my voice. That's what the people are saying.
Democracy, I mean, it's a pipe dream. And I hope that...
For China.
Yeah, I mean, we can only hope. Yeah. We can only hope, that's all.
Okay. Let's see. How does someone in China know what their social credit score is? Is there a way to check that? You probably addressed that in that video you guys made, huh?
There is an app for government officials in the party that they can check.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not quite sure. I think I don't think your average person is going to be affected by it as much as somebody that's really in the limelight, right?
Oh yeah, I got to tell you this thing because I got a friend who works in in the government in China. And everyone now has to do these kind of like online every day. By the way,
right.
They have to do. It's kind of like an online test where it's like the communist rhetoric and
right.
stuff.
Xi Jinping thought.
Yeah, the Xi Jinping thought thing.
They get beans or something.
But the thing is, it's not new. They used to have to go through this like once a month or whatever. But they used to be able to just like let it play on the computer and then ignore it and carry on with their work. And then when it's done, because you log in, you have like your party account or whatever. But now they've made it so that it has pop-ups all the time to make sure you're paying attention.
Right.
And it has pop-ups that ask you questions that you have to answer. So it's like really annoying to actually have to be stuck there listening to it and answering the questions all the time, like every day or something. And it's driving me crazy.
I heard that with that Xi Jinping app, if you're a civil servant, you have to be like get a certain amount of points every day by looking at his speeches and videos and rhetoric. But anyway, people are making like scripts to bot it
that makes
and like
sense.
gaming the system. It's just like, I don't even want to get into that. It's very
kind of,
China.
Yeah. I do think with the whole social credit thing is you'll only really know when you try to buy a ticket.
Right.
Go to buy a plane ticket and they're like, sorry, you can't.
Gotcha.
And then you'll be like, why? And they'll be like, because you suck.
I'm actually going to ask a bunch of friends tonight.
Yeah, let's see if we can find out some more information about
that.
Cool.
Okay, next up, do you guys want to give an update on your status with the Joe Rogan show?
Yeah.
I mean,
haven't heard anything back.
Yeah.
I tried to get in touch with his, I think it's Matt Staggs is his talent finder. Had another friend helping him with that as well, but I'm sure they're swamped.
No, sure.
Got tons of uploads.
It's like the most popular podcast in the world, so we can't expect to get on there, but it'll be nice. It's a nice idea. It's a nice
we might be on the radar, right?
Yeah, let's hope.
Right.
Let's hope.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So Veronica Rossi made an interesting point that do you think people in Hong Kong were a little bit naive because 50 years from now, this was all going to kind of happen anyway, right? Like, what did they think was going to happen in the long run?
No. I mean, I think that's kind of a silly argument because why would you just be like, okay, in 50 years, we're going to dissolute anyway, right? Yeah. Let's just give up now and throw away everything.
So think about it this way. How about I'm like, hey, listen, man, I think you're awesome. You're my best friend here. I'm going to lend you my car for the next 10 days. Here you go. Go for it. You can do what you want. Go wherever you want. And then I start calling you. You decide you want to just drive to Arizona. I call you and I'm like, hey, listen, I said you could use my car and drive wherever you want, but no, you're not allowed to leave the state. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to, have a passenger in there. Right. What are you doing, man?
Right.
Bring it back. In fact, you know what? Bring it back. I'm not going to lend it to you for the next 10 days.
Right. And I'm like, okay.
Come on, man. It's bullshit. Like those 50 years were there for Hong Kong to continue as it is, and for things to change slowly. Right. It's not something that should be taken lightly. That's a promise.
That's not naive. I've seen this. I actually get a little bit pissed off at a lot of the Westerners in the comments these days about saying, well, what do you think was going to happen anyway?
Yeah.
Why didn't they just give up in the first place? No. How would you feel?
Yeah. Imagine you grow up there.
Right.
You need to sort your stuff out. You've got your career that's still going. You need things to to organize. You need to make sure you're ready for things to happen when they happen. You can't just have things, the rug pulled out from under you at any given moment.
And by the way, we're not criticizing the person that sent the super chat. That was a good question.
Yeah,
just some of the things we've seen. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks.
All right. Dustin Pearson said, love the content, guys. Amazing insight. Appreciate it. If Winston Matt, I'm not sure what that even says. Appreciate. Congratulations. It was almost a statement, but he told me to read it in the chat, so I'm reading it in the chat.
Okay.
Now, let's see. Charles Morita. Would you describe CCC politics as black box politics or as trying to figure out the winner of a dogfight by listening through the wall? It's kind of obtuse, getting poetical in the super chats here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's actually a good analogy.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Right. We don't even have to answer that. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't really know what's going on.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Are you guys going to be doing a Kickstarter for your next adventure for the India documentary?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, it's tough to say. You know, the thing is, it was incredibly satisfying for us to do both those, conquering southern China and conquering northern China. The difference is, the first one was self-funded. It took us a long time to recoup the money. We did recoup the money. We didn't actually make any real profits out of that at all. The second one, the Kickstarter, allowed us to do it, but because we had that money, we had so many more obligations, and it was a lot tougher.
Didn't profit.
Yeah, and we didn't make any.
Trying
profit.
to make it a little bit back now.
We made it better. It was better because of that money. We wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for that. You know. But we're hoping that the next time we do something like this, that we can try to self-fund it again. We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, it's hard to tell, but thank you so much for the offer.
bringing that up. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, Golden Eagle asks, can foreign-born Chinese teach English in China? I assume they're saying, assuming they're fluent in Mandarin.
Can foreign-born Chinese teach English? Yes. Okay, now I understand what you're saying. I was trying to work that out in math. A lot of teachers. Unfortunately, a lot of the parents in China would prefer if they had a white person, even if they're Russian.
It's incredibly disappointing.
Yeah,
just set yourself up for disappointment. I may have told this story before on one of our channels, but when I was working for kindergarten, like right in the beginning, like within the first year and a half or so that I was in China, I became the sort of head teacher there, and I was in charge of hiring other foreigners that were to come and join. And I got a phone call from a guy. So I can't remember, his name was like Mark or something, on the phone, and he's like, "Hi, my name's Mark, I'm Australian, and I'm looking for a job." So I was like, "Awesome, man, come on, let's meet up for coffee and I'll have an interview with you, etc." So I meet up with him, and the guy was Chinese. He was just born in Australia, so he had fluent English. It was his native language. He couldn't speak Chinese even.
Okay.
So he looked Chinese, but he was a Westerner in every other aspect, right? So I thought he was fantastic for the job. I thought, to me, it wasn't a big deal. I was like, okay, he's Chinese, doesn't matter. It's like, great. So the policy in China, when you get hired from a job, is they require a photo. They do. When you send your resume, you have to send a photo.
For any job?
Any job, not just this. So I got his resume from him. I took a photo with my phone. I went back and I sat down with the principal of the school, and I said, "This guy's great. We really should hire him." Showed the picture, and they're like, "No." I'm like, "Why not?"
Chinese.
He's like, the Chinese parents won't accept that. He's not white.
Right.
I'm like, come on, man.
I will give, if this person is a Chinese American or whatever, Asian person, I'll give you some advice though.
Yeah.
Positions in public school and really high level private schools don't care.
Yes.
And they may pay really well.
Also, if you go through an American company like English First or Wall Street English or something, they cannot because of the American anti-discrimination policies. But if it's a Chinese company, they can discriminate all they want.
Yeah. So stay away from the low tier English schools. Yeah. Okay, next. We got to rip through these. We're running out of time.
Yeah, okay. Art of the Real, $20, said, does the guy in the tower get any super chat money?
I don't know. Do you want some?
I mean, yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Split this around. We're not communists.
I'll be like the unpaid. I'll be Brad 5.
Yeah,
whatever they're at. Yeah, not getting paid. I was gonna read a chat question from back by ALMAO 313, but then he commented and said that he torrented the documentaries. So now you're not gonna get your comment read, bro.
Actually, I have a message.
Joke's on you.
Go screw yourself.
It's not nice to do.
I mean, like, honestly, I'd be hypocritical if I said I didn't pirate music when I was young or something like this. But as an adult, when you actually make something with money out of your own pocket, and the months of time we spent making it, and all the contracts we had to break to make these things. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, okay, look, I'm going to take a different thing on this because...
Well, I didn't finish.
Oh, you haven't finished.
So
okay,
I understand why someone would do that. And I understand because they don't want to pay the money, and I get that people do this kind of stuff, but it's insane when there's not a big corporation or a faceless corporation that you're screwing over, when it's actually two guys that you're screwing over out of all this hard work. It kind of sucks. So I retract my "go screw yourself" statement, but consider, not us, but consider supporting people that actually took time and money out of their own pockets to produce something.
Here's the thing, right? I do understand, especially when I was living in South Africa, and we don't have access to a lot of things that you Americans do,
sure,
etc. And if you want to, seriously, there's a lot of things we couldn't get.
I get it.
And the only way to do it was through piracy. And I did a lot of piracy when I was younger. It's just the way it is. The difference is, if you enjoyed our documentary, let's just say you actually watched it and you really liked it. Well, give us a super chat for like $10 or whatever.
Yeah, call it even.
There we go. And then we call it even.
Sure.
I understand people in certain positions in life where they cannot afford to watch something. It's not really a massive excuse for piracy, but let's just say that was the situation. I can dig it. I can understand it.
Sure.
But yes, it is disappointing when you put so much work into it and people pirate.
I apologize.
Yeah.
And if you're using AdBlock, buy our merch. That makes up for it too.
That sounds perfect. And you know what? The merch is actually available now for 21 days only at everpress.com/ADVChina.
Hit our merch button.
Hit the merch button. Bing, 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 bing. Look at you guys. If you see a little ad blocker thing up in your corner and it's not deactivated, check out this cool t-shirt. You can show everyone that you want to punch a clown just like we do.
I got to tell you one thing, that if someone's going to pay $25 for a t-shirt, they certainly love us a lot.
They do.
And
we really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Thanks, guys. Anyway, let's get on to another question.
All right. Dominic White asks, Andy has the guts profile picture from Berserk. Good taste. All right. He says, longtime subscriber here. Now that you've moved to the U.S., how many more ADV China videos can we expect with your footage from Vietnam and China?
A couple.
Yeah, we've still got some.
We're still headed off to other places, guys. Keep in mind.
It's a weird kind of a situation because when we go on our trips, we make sure that we get enough and we cover enough relevant topics, at least ones that we think are relevant to either the country or to China, what's going on at the time. So some of it becomes kind of invalid. Like there's a couple of Taiwan videos that we filmed that, because things have changed in the news,
scrap them.
we scrap them.
Sucks.
It does. But every time we go somewhere new, like we pop over to Mexico or whatever, we film a bunch of stuff, and then we find the right time to kind of release them. So every week when it comes to editing something, we go through the videos that we've shot and we see which ones are relevant and if we need to either add things to them or whatever. And so you'll see videos from Taiwan, Vietnam popping up in the future, like way in the future still. Just depends if it's relevant or not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Let's see. Trevor travels the world. Says he wants a link to the Hong Kong animated video, so maybe we can post that on social media somewhere.
Why don't you post that on a swipeable story on Instagram? Yeah. Is that cool?
Do we even have enough followers to do swipeable stories yet?
Maybe not. Maybe what we can do is post it in the description.
We're going to put it in the description of this video later. So once this has been uploaded,
come back and find it.
That's YouTube. What it does is once you finish a live stream. Okay, they are basically uploaded as a video on the channel. Then we can go in and edit it, add it into the description.
Yeah, so check the description.
It'll be in the description and a pinned comment.
Cool, thanks.
All right, Dustin Pearson wants the old merch back. The squid shirt and the grass mud horse shirt. Can we get some old merch for the boys?
Hey, Dustin. So unfortunately, these limited run campaigns are that way, like from the company.
Yeah.
I will probably do a poll for my channel and probably for ADV when we have enough merch out there to see which ones people like the most and then bring them back. Yeah. So if that makes sense. Thank you, Dustin.
Yeah. Sweet.
And another Dustin Brown said, I won't turn off my ad block, but I'll support you guys. Best YouTube content.
Totally fine. That's totally fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it.
Okay. Awesome. I think it's about that time, but I just want to plug once more. So we're finally on Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio. So go check us out there. But for sure, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm actually not going to shave a hair on my head until we hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel.
Whoa!
So, I mean, maybe that's the bad incentive, because then if people want to see me with a huge Gandalf beard, then they specifically won't subscribe. But I don't know. It'll be a fun little thing for the channel. And also, what else was I going to say? I forgot. All right, back to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dia. Thank you very much. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was a long one today.
It was very long. We appreciate you for sticking around for so long. Don't forget Instagram. DM's the one who's looking after Instagram, so he's posting all sorts of interesting things there. He can help answer some questions, do some polls, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Thank you for following us. With
And
everything that we do.
Please help us spread the word about this channel. It's very small and we keep it separate from everything else.
Yeah.
So please, spread the word and make sure you're subscribed so you actually know when the episodes come out, because it's every other week. It's confusing.
It is confusing.
So
we can't wait to see you in the next one. So until next time, you know the drill, guys. As always, stay awesome.
and buy this merch.
Buy the merch.